This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield.
This is going back to the letter that you didn't find. Sorry, Corey's mom.
Hi, Mom. The 12th of July 2020. My name is Corey Winfield, and joining me is Marney Liston.
Hi there.
Hello. And special guest, I'll let you introduce.
Yes, today we have on my father, Kalen Liston. How are you doing, Dad?
I'm doing good. Yeah, my name's Kalen Liston, and I'm responsible for this one over here. Well, sort of. She's responsible for herself now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've raised a very unique woman. She puts ketchup on
Everything.
pancakes.
No.
It wouldn't surprise me if she did, but no. Does she get that from you? Her weird eating habits?
Ketchup on everything? No. She picked that up sometime or other. Best I can recall, while she was in Traverse City, seems like 20 years ago.
Maybe.
During that little segment of your life.
Right?
What happened 20 years ago? Let's get
I
into
don't
this.
know. I mean,
Let's go back.
I thought we were talking about... picking up something else. The booze.
Oh. Yeah, I'm not sure.
No, just kidding. But...
You used to drink.
Secret agenda here.
Yeah, right?
It's going to be revealed, I guess.
He didn't know that.
I loved in the sound check, though. He was like, I'm just going to talk like this. This is how I'm talking. This is going to be nice and cool. And now he's like, secret agenda. I love that when people do that. My mom is the queen of that.
The queen of secret agendas?
No, the queen of testing the microphone, like, hello, check, this is how I talk. And then she starts talking and she just starts yelling, no, I did not do that.
Yeah.
I did not.
Okay,
That's
all
how
right.
my mom talks. I did not do that.
That's not how Sandy talks.
Sometimes it is. But Kaylin, welcome to the Recovery Podcast, and this is a podcast about recovery. You've heard a few of them, I was told, and some of them are better than others. Some of them, you might be able to relate to, and sometimes you're probably thinking, oh, that's something similar, and other times it's probably like, yeah, I don't know what he's talking about. They're talking about time machines and betting games and doing weird stuff. I'm not sure if you heard those. Probably haven't. But what is your take on time travel? Because I have a theory. I think I'm close.
Really?
Take on time travel. Really, I've never considered it all that much of a realistic thing, so I think of it in terms of science fiction, and I think of it in terms of the was about 1962 movie that starred a guy by the name of Rod something or other. I did enjoy the Jules Verne remake of
The Time Machine.
The Time Machine, right?
Yeah, with Guy Pearce.
Right.
Yeah, because I think that's the one I saw, the black and white movie, like a long time ago, and then the Guy Pearce version of it, and I kind of like the original.
I can't remember seeing the original exactly by detail, but I do. I did focus so much on the color remake with Rod somebody or other as the star, male lead. All right, so that's time travel.
Well, kind of. Because here's my theory.
Okay, all right.
And I'm so close to
now
getting this.
He's going to reveal where he was headed. Okay,
Yes.
all right.
So now that we've got, some fiction out of the way, let's get to reality here.
Okay.
So, and I'm missing just a little bit, so I know I'm not there yet, but if we take, and let's just, for example, and I used it yesterday in the podcast, let's say the Earth moves 2 miles an hour, rotates, So, if we go 2 miles an hour, like not in space, but still in the atmosphere, the other way of the Earth, we just stay there. See what I'm saying? Like the Earth's spinning this way, and we're going that way. So we're always just in the same spot with the Earth. I think from there, Kaylin, is when we can move to the next step where time travel is possible. And I was told every inch you go in space, time is like a super like millimeter, kilometer, something with math off of a second. Tell me if that's not official.
Couldn't tell you.
He's thinking,
I'm not getting this.
So, which part of it?
Okay, where are you headed? Keep going.
All right, so, yeah, but there's something I'm missing. But I think once we freeze ourselves in that moment of we're parallel to the Earth and the sun.
I got nothing.
Well, you know, let's talk recovery.
Is that, are we supposed to finish that sentence or something?
No, Kaylin, you're supposed to
Just nod and smile and tell him he's on to something and keep on working.
Okay. Hey, nodding here. See, look at nodding, smiling.
You guys, you know,
big smile.
I appreciate you supporting me in my dreams, you know, to make this a reality. And hey, you know, they told us electricity couldn't happen.
Right.
And I paid my bill. They turned it right on. See, it's small things like that in life where you realize that you can accomplish anything. Mm-hmm. You know, so I'm going to keep plugging away, man. This one lady who looked at my hand one time, according to her, I still got 43 good years left. So, tick-tock.
Right.
Tick-tock.
Tick-tock.
Yeah. Let's talk recovery, though, because, Caitlin, you, and all joking aside, are in recovery, and you have been for quite a while now.
All true.
The hardest thing for you...
Recovery from what?
Drug of choice is alcohol.
We are talking mood-altering substances in particular, like alcohol, right?
We can say that, or we can just say the deeper, the root, the cause, maybe, of the substance use. And, you know, because I feel it's hand in hand. Like, you can stop drinking and just live a miserable life. You haven't done that. You've found a purpose. And there's something that you enjoy in life, and that drives you. And it doesn't matter if it's, you know, doing podcasts or...
I'm catching it. Okay,
you know?
yeah.
So, I mean, they go hand in hand for me. You know, I do a podcast. I do recovery stuff, and it's like I do it a lot. And some people would say it's probably unhealthy, but I didn't drink today, and I don't feel like I have to beat myself up today for the past. You know, I don't have to beat myself up because my father wasn't there, because it was not accepted by him. You know, there was the approval that I never got. You know, I don't have to live like that today, and I can come to terms with it. But for you, it's been 11 years since you've had a drink, right?
More than 11? How many?
12. Or more than 12, but once I had a dozen in, I said, that's pretty good, you know? I mean, I'm all right. I never felt safe. I already know. I always know it's out there, and it could come and get me this afternoon. Easy, simple. Could happen, but it hasn't, and I don't think it will. At least that's my hope, and I try to live in such a way that that it's not likely to come around again, which is kind of hard to describe. But sometimes it's just a matter of like letting go and enjoying the state that you're in, and not wanting for something different. In terms of your mental state and your control over it. I can speak to that if you're wanting to hear.
Yeah.
Okay. 12, 13 years ago, I'd been drinking pretty heavily for a number of years. And there was a point at which I had, even before that, I had become committed enough to stop drinking that I did so for 2 years. And during those 2 years, I remember experiencing a sense of peace and freedom that you never had while you were drinking. Drinking, you're always planning for what your next drink is. And that's not control. You're not running your own thought patterns. Something else is running those thought patterns, and that annoyed me. But then, for various reasons, which I'm not sure I can even, quickly summarize right here and now, I did go back to drinking, and I had been drinking for several years, fairly heavily. So a lot of social consequences for that, but nothing that had me, like falling off the bike and kissing the concrete. I didn't had any really horrible consequences, so I continued to live with it, manage it, or more mismanage it is probably a better usage. But I got to the point where I was resentful. I became resentful of the fact that I was always planning for the next drink, which means I wasn't planning for when I'd spend time with the kids, or when I'd go on the next cool vacation, or I'll pull off some really good piece of legal work for a client. I wasn't thinking in that way. I was instead thinking of, well, let's see, gosh, if I finish up in such and such a court and then take the long way home through such and such a place, I can pick up some beer on the way and, get right on into it. Well, it annoyed me that was the case, that was what was going on, but I didn't do anything about it. I was just kind of aware of it. Back there, every so often, I'd have that reoccurring thought. Then lived like that for a while, but then there was a particular event, and that particular event involved the 07-08 economic disasters going on in this state, and the fact that I had just gotten into a relationship with a lady from, at that point I'd met her in Florida actually, but her family had been in Texas, and together we decided to go to Texas and just try something brand new. And I did. And it was like an adventure. Okay, well, but in Texas, after a while, both of us were drinking. She was drinking perhaps as heavily or maybe more so than me. There came a time when she became abusive. She would come back from her job, which was, strange as it sounds, like a social worker, a child protective services worker, and it took a toll on her, but she anesthetized from it by drinking after work. She saw some pretty horrible stuff, and I'm not saying that excuses the drinking. I'm just saying that was the reality of what was going on. But she would come back from work and the after work things, and sometimes go off on tangents where she was just a mean person, not at all who I knew. Now, I tolerated that or tried to deal with it, but it was reoccurring enough to where I could see that this was a pattern she was bound and determined to stay in. Even talking to her in the sober times didn't work out very well. Now, I'm not saying I was perfect, because I was drinking too, so a lot of times I just get smashed and wouldn't notice, I'd kind of like ignore it. But there was one night she came back